Oh boy, this is the age-old question, and for whatever reason, it is more prominent today than it was, say, 2 years ago. For whatever reason, and that is real simple: is it still possible to make 6 or 7 figures buying and selling coins? That's a great question. My personal experience on the matter is I haven't made that kind of money because I haven't put the amount of time into it. It's a dedication thing. Before I get into the hows and whys and what it takes, all right, let me give you a little bit of personal testimony. Let's go back to 2005. And if you wanted to fast forward, a few minutes, you can. But what I'm about to say and share with you is the whole premise of where I'm trying to get to as far as making the big time. 2005 wasn't the most fantastic year to get into coins for a few reasons. Number one, precious metals. In fact, I remembered it like it was yesterday because before things started getting expensive, ridiculously expensive, silver and gold and bullion in general was pretty cheap still. Pretty cheap. After the Hunt brothers ran up the price of silver, it just never really recovered until about 2008, 2009. 2005, silver was, if I remember right, like $6, $7, somewhere around there. Still cheap enough to where you could buy silver at a remarkable deal. I remember dimes being no more than about 50 cents a piece, for example. A guy I worked with, I was in the car business for the better part of the decade. 2005 was one of my better years. But I had the pleasure of knowing a fellow car salesman. We would give him so much shit over his name. His name's Jordy, but his last name was Peltz, like beaver pelt. The guy was a real party animal, being in his 40s, he was still out there, making it happen. And we would give him so much crap about his name because sometimes he would come into work on a Monday morning smelling like a beaver pelt, of course. So you could take that however you want to take it. But one thing's for sure, he knew how to sell and he was highly intelligent. I was just starting to get back into coins at the time because I was making good money. And Jordy had come up to me and posed a pretty interesting topic of conversation. He knew I collected coins a long time ago. And he asked me, you know what? I think I want to stop selling cars and I want to get into selling coins and buying and trading silver, gold, and platinum. And at the time, I looked at him, I'm like, dude, you're crazy. Silver is not exactly setting the world on fire, and neither is gold. It would be a horrible thing to get into. I don't know exactly what he saw, but he ended up quitting his job as a successful car salesman, a guy that was already making 6 figures as a lot jockey. So he asked me, hey, I need help. Can you help me do this? I told him I just can't. I don't have the time, or do I have the financial backing to get into something like this? But he ended up just doing it himself. He said, okay, you know what? I'll see you later on down the road. Let's see what happens. So this Armenian guy, Jordy, takes off for what is probably close to a year. He comes back. He drives a nice, fancy European car. And I'm like, yeah, this isn't the Jordy I know. He can't afford stuff like this. Well, he came up and he said, hey, what's up? But I haven't seen him in a year. So he's, there was only a few of us, the same guys that he's known at the dealership, because as far as everybody knows, the car dealership is such a high turnover employee-wise. So a lot of the same people he knew wasn't there, but that's neither here nor there. And I was like, what's going on? what's new and exciting? And I said, well, I'm making a boatload of money. And he just gave me this weird look, like, no way. And it's just no way. But he bought this really nice $60,000 BMW. He was hosting a little get together at his condo on the beach in Florida, so we all went. He took me into a back room and showed me 2 safes that he had bought, within the last year during that time. It was 2006 at this point. And he's showing me all this stuff. He's showing me kind of like a barrel looking thing full of nothing but sterling. And he would show me another container with 14 and 18 karat gold jewelry. I'm like, where'd all this stuff come from? He said, well, I'm officially in the bullion business. Silver had crept up to $10 an ounce. And he's making money hand over fist by doing this. And I asked him, what's the big secret? He said, it's no big secret. I go out there, I promote myself. I go to estate sales. I promote my business in the spirit of trying to help the people make money from what they have. And he's been working largely by referrals. I would say about 6 months into it, he was having people call him at all hours of the day. Now, God rest his soul, he passed away in 2009. He was a heavy drinker and everything like that. But in the course of a few years, he had made close to $1.5 million doing something that I didn't think was possible. But somehow, some way, he saw the writing on the wall. Again, he was intelligent. He researched the market. Of course, the market wasn't too good, but he saw the 50% increase in the price of PMs from '05 to '06 was just enough of an open door to give him what he needed to be successful. So there's 3 main factors that help drive this story to success when it comes to coins, currency, being one of those people that sells and buys bullion and takes it to the refiners and makes more money. All right. The 3 main factors, if you are going to be successful in this, is information. Right now, it's the information age. We have the internet. In order to be successful, you need to know exactly what silver and gold is, obviously. If you're into coins, you're going to have a vested interest in knowing about coins, varieties, errors, key dates. That's very and vastly important, or else you're never going to make it. You don't know if you're going to spend $50 on a coin that's worth $10,000, or you're going to be spending $50 on a coin that's just worth $50. Because at the end of the day, you're trying to feed a family or keep the lights on. Second, you have to know your market. What's hot out there? What's going to sell? I can tell you, as of today, and you can mark your calendars, June 1st, 2017, there is no way I would sell low grade or high grade, whatever it is, 2-cent pieces, 3-cent pieces, or early silver commemoratives. You wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole if you were getting into the business of making money through selling and buying coins, being a dealer. That's equally important. You got to know the market. What's hot, what's not. Everybody knows that silver and gold isn't what it used to be back in 2009 and 10. Record number of people were cashing in on sterling flatware, jewelry, and scrap coins for a piece of the pie, for a piece of that $2,000 an ounce gold, or the $55 an ounce silver. That was just around the corner, and there's no mistaking that. If you knew your market, you will be successful. So the third thing that I'm going to talk about is, how are you going to approach this? Is this something that you're going to elect to work out of home? Are you going to do an online based business? Or are you going to open a brick and mortar? So this is part of that market piece I keep telling you about. The most expensive one out of all three of those obviously is opening your own storefront. It just doesn't have the type of business walking through the door. An online presence is fantastic, but social media is even more better. You're going to be able to get the reach that you want, and you're going to get more customers that way. A lot of your successful dealers today, whether it's a David Lawrence or a Northeast Coin or you name it, even some of the auction sites, they promote heavily in social media, and that's something that you should do too. And the fourth thing, and this is important, that if you're going to get into the business and you wanted to make $500, $1 million, $1.5 million, is you got to have the equity to put into the business. There are no coin dealers that go into the business and say, you know what, I'm going to start with $1,000 and I'm going to make this happen. Now it may happen, but it'll take a long time. The most successful companies that make money off of coins and currency, they put a lot of their hard-earned money into it. So you have to spend the money to make the money. Those are all the factors that you should look at if you want to make a living buying and selling coins and making 5 and 6 or 6 and 7 figure money. It's a real thing. It's a fun thing. You gotta love the hobby. You gotta love coins, and it'll love you back. Ultimately, it's gotta be something that you're not gonna be in over your head on. That's why the research piece of this is so important. If you're able to master everything that I taught you, you would have no problem making a ton of money in this profession, and one that will bear fruit for a long time, because you'll have the same people coming back for selling and buying. That's the beauty part of it. It's a referral based business, and it's, quite frankly, it's a business that will just grow rapidly after your first 6 months. You're not going to see the returns right away, but it's not going to take long, trust me. So that in a nutshell is how you would be able to put a lot of time and dedication into making $1 million+ in the coin business. It's doable. It's very doable. Look online. There's a ton of dealers that make that kind of money, if not more, every year. And so can you. So thank you guys for watching. I hope it wasn't too long-winded. Got a little story out of it too, a real life testimonial, one that caught me by surprise, but I remembered it like it was yesterday. And you know what? A lot of people were asking, is this something that you could, turn into a profession? Absolutely you can. It takes perseverance, and it's a lot of hard work for a lot of money. It's not easy money. You're going to work hard at it. So thank you for watching the Blue Ridge vlog. Appreciate it, and you guys take care. Have a good one.